¿Qué tal? Bienvenidos nuevamente a la Comisión Nacional de Hidrocarburos. En unos momentos dará inicio la 74ª sesión extraordinaria de 2016 del órgano de gobierno. En esta ocasión, el orden del día contiene dos asuntos para autorización. El primero es la resolución por la que se instruye a aportar el saldo remanente de ingresos propios excedentes del ejercicio fiscal 2016 al fideicomiso público constituido en favor de este órgano regulador coordinado. Recordemos que de acuerdo con la Ley de los órganos reguladores coordinados en materia energética, estos pueden disponer de los ingresos derivados de los derechos y aprovechamientos que establezcan por sus servicios, y para ello se constituyó un fideicomiso público para aportar en él el saldo remanente de dichos ingresos propios. En segundo lugar, se presenta una propuesta de modificaciones al reglamento interno de la CNH. Soy Carla Gabriela González, secretaria ejecutiva de la comisión, y con esta agenda los esperamos en unos momentos más en la transmisión en vivo de la 74ª sesión extraordinaria de 2016 del órgano de gobierno de la Comisión Nacional de Hidrocarburos. Hasta entonces. ¿Qué tal? Bienvenidos nuevamente a la Comisión Nacional de Hidrocarburos. En unos momentos dará inicio la 74ª sesión extraordinaria de 2016 del órgano de gobierno. En esta ocasión, el orden del día contiene dos asuntos para autorización. El primero es la resolución por la que se instruye a aportar el saldo remanente de ingresos propios excedentes del ejercicio fiscal 2016 al fideicomiso público constituido en favor de este órgano regulador coordinado. Recordemos que de acuerdo con la Ley de los órganos reguladores coordinados en materia energética, estos pueden disponer de los ingresos derivados de los derechos y aprovechamientos que establezcan por sus servicios, y para ello se constituyó un fideicomiso público para aportar en él el saldo remanente de dichos ingresos propios. En segundo lugar, se presenta una propuesta de modificaciones al reglamento interno de la CNH. Soy Carla Gabriela González, secretaria ejecutiva de la comisión, y con esta agenda los esperamos en unos momentos más en la transmisión en vivo de la 74ª sesión extraordinaria de 2016 del órgano de gobierno de la Comisión Nacional de Hidrocarburos. Hasta entonces.
Buenos días, son las 10:25 de la mañana de este 15 de diciembre de 2016. Damos inicio a la 74th extraordinary session of 2016
of the governing body of the National Hydrocarbon Commission. I ask the Executive Secretary if there is a quorum to carry out the session. Good morning. I ask the commissioners to mention their full name and their status as commissioner in the roll call. Juan Carlos Cepeda Molino, President Commissioner present. Alma América Porres Luna, Commissioner present. Néstor Martínez Romero, Commissioner present. Héctor Alberto Acosta Félix, Commissioner present. Gaspar Franco Hernández, Commissioner present. In view of the presence of 5 commissioners, members of the governing body, I would like to inform you that in terms of Article 10 of the Law for Coordinated Energy Regulatory Agencies, there is a quorum and consequently the session can be carried out. Thank you very much, Executive Secretary. I submit the agenda for the consideration of the members of this governing body. First issue is the approval of the agenda. Issues for authorization is the second point. Within the issues for authorization, the first of them is amendments to the internal regulation of the National Hydrocarbon Commission, and the second is the resolution for carrying out the necessary steps to transfer the remaining balance of the Commission's income of 2016 to the Public Trust Fund referred to in Article 31 of the Law for Coordinated Energy Regulatory Agencies. If you agree with the agenda, please show it by raising your hand. Thank you very much. It's approved unanimously. We will proceed for the first issue for authorization, the amendments to the internal regulation of the National Hydrocarbon Commission. In response to this matter, and with the approval of the President Commissioner, I give the floor to Marco Antonio de la Peña Sánchez, head of the legal unit. Please go ahead. With your approval, President Commissioners, I submit to the governing body once again the amendments of the internal regulation of the National Hydrocarbons Commission regarding Article 31 and subsection D to Section 6 of Article 10, and the creation of an Article 31 bis, and the abrogation of Section 3rd of Article 31, with the intention of creating a Direction General for Commercialization. Last session, we present the amendments, but this time we are presenting the amendments the Commissioner asked the last session. In 2014, December 8, the Commission's governing body issued the internal regulation of the Commission,
la Comisión Nacional de Hidrocarburos, a petición del Fondo Mexicano del
And
Petróleo,
pursuant to Article
celebra
28 of the
mediante una
Hydrocarbon
licitación
Law,
pública
the Commission, at the
un
request of the Mexican
contrato de
Petroleum Fund
a
for
favor del
Stabilization and
Estado para
Development,
comercializar los
the
hidrocarburos
Commission may
derivados de los
contract
contratos
Petróleos Mexicanos,
comercial y
any
extracción.
state or
Y
international
tiene
company,
inclusive
through
un
public
transitorio
bidding
octavo
for
que
providing the
permite
state with
de aquí
commercialization
hasta el 31
services
de
in
diciembre de
exchange for a
2017
consideration.
adjudicar a Pemex
The eighth
a
transitory
empresas
of the
productivas,
Hydrocarbon Law establishes
del
that the
Estado
Commission may
o a
award,
filiales
without
de
bidding,
estas,
a
un contrato
contract
de
for commercialization
en
of
tal
the
sentido,
state's
mismo que no
hydrocarbons
podría
to Petróleos
rebasar los
Mexicanos,
5
to
meses en
any of its
2017.
subsidiaries, or
La
to
razón
another
de esta
state company,
modificación
with termination
deriva de
date
que,
December
conforme al
31,
actual artículo
2017,
31 en su fracción
with no
tercera
renewal or
del
extension
reglamento
clauses.
interno, la Dirección General de Medición
According to Article
tiene
31,
diversas
Section
actividades
3rd of the
relacionadas con
National
la
Hydrocarbon
comercialización de
Commission
hidrocarburos,
Internal Regulation,
atribución que
the Direction
conlleva
General for
diversas
Measurement is
funciones
responsible for
intrínsecas,
coordinating all
entre las
activities
cuales
related to
destacan algunas que
hydrocarbon
acotamos
commercialization,
a solicitud de este órgano
such
de
as
gobierno,
verifying and
que
adjusting
son el
hydrocarbon
seguimiento de los
production
reportes de
figures.
producción de hidrocarburos que se consideran para el cálculo de las contraprestaciones a favor del Estado por
Nowadays,
parte de los
we
propios
are
asignatarios y contratistas, así
we're
como de
making
los
the
derechos
proposal of the
impuestos
powers
por
of the
el Estado.
Direction General for
Así
Production and
también, realizar
Commercialization.
los ajustes que deriven de esos
In this
reportes,
case, we're proposing the
formalizar los
follow-up on the
instrumentos
production
relacionados con la
reports considered for
comercialización
the
de hidrocarburos
calculation of the
y
state's
proporcionar a
consideration
las
by the
entidades
signings and
administrativas de la
contractors,
Comisión y a las
as well
autoridades
as the
competentes
corresponding rights and
la
taxes.
información de la producción
Provide
de
the necessary
hidrocarburos que
technical
deriva
elements to the
de
Direction
tales,
General for Contracts for
tales
the elaboration of hydrocarbon
para el
commercialization
cálculo de la
contracts,
contraprestación, así
as
como de
well
los
provide to
derechos
the
y de los
administrative
impuestos.
units and competent
La idea de esta
authorities with
propuesta que se
hydrocarbon
trae a su
production
consideración
information
es
required
que
for
con el fin de
fees and
clarificar y
consideration
fortalecer el
estimations,
ejercicio de las
as well
facultades
as
de
for
comercialización de
calculating
esta
the
comisión,
corresponding rights and
es
taxes.
necesario que haya una unidad administrativa específica
In order to
responsable de las
enforce the powers of the
competencias
Commission, we need to
técnicas
create a
para
Direction
materializar las
General
atribuciones conferidas a la Comisión en materia de
specific for
comercialización.
commercialization.
Para ello, si
In this
podemos
case,
ir un poquito más arriba, en el artículo 10 que
in
habla de la
Article
unidad de
10,
extracción, dentro de sus direcciones
in which
generales
we are
se
talking
agrega
about
hasta
the
clause
technical
extra el
unit
inciso D, que
of
es la Dirección General
for
de
extraction,
Comercialización de
we're
Productos.
adding the Direction
Por
General
otra
for
parte,
Production
en el artículo
Commercialization.
31, que es el artículo que da las atribuciones a la unidad
On the other
pública
hand,
de
on Article
extracción,
31,
se hace una pequeña
we are
modificación
making
con una
an amendment
en la fracción segunda
on
para que
Section
pueda
2nd,
dar seguimiento y verificar la
so
medición
we
de
so
la
the Direction
producción de
General for
hidrocarburos
Production
de los
Commercialization and the
contratistas,
Technical Extraction
y
Unit can
por
monitor
otro,
and
se
verify
deroga
the
la,
measurement of the
antigua
assignees and
fracción
contractors'
tercera, que era la que le
hydrocarbons
daba las
production.
facultades de comercialización a la
Also,
Dirección
we are
General
abrogating the
de
third section
Medición,
of Article
que consistía
31,
en coordinar las actividades relacionadas con la comercialización de
in which
hidrocarburos
the
y
Direction
contratos
General for
relacionados
Measurement was the
a
one
partir de la
responsible
creación de la nueva
for
Dirección General de
commercialization
Comercialización.
activities.
Estas facultades pasan al nuevo artículo 31
With the new
bis,
proposal and the
que es una
amendments,
adición.
the
Y
Director
si no
General
tiene
for Production
inconveniente, me
Commercialization
permitiré leer cómo
will
quedan las
have those
atribuciones
powers,
del
and I will
31
read them.
Facultades de la Dirección General de Comercialización de
The
Producción.
powers
La
of the Direction General for Production
de Producción
Commercialization.
estará adscrita a la Unidad Técnica
The
de
Direction
Extracción,
General for Production
acordará con sus
Commercialization shall
titulares
belong to the
despacho
Technical
los puntos de
Extraction Unit,
competencia y tendrá las
shall agree
facultades
its matter
siguientes.
within its
Primero,
competence
dar seguimiento
with the
a los
head of the
reportes de
unit and shall
producción
have the
por parte de los
following powers.
signatarios y los contratistas
Follow
que se
up
consideran
on the
para el
production
cálculo de las
reports considered for the
contraprestaciones,
calculation
así
of the
como de los
state's
derechos
consideration by the
impuestos
assignés and contractors,
Segundo,
as well as the
iniciar,
corresponding
tramitar y
rights and
resolver los
taxes.
actos relacionados con los
Initiate,
procedimientos de
process, and
ajuste
solve the
que
acts
deriven de
related
los
to
reportes de
hydrocarbons
producción y que
commercialization
se requieran
verification
para
and
la comercialización,
adjustment
así como para el
resulting
cálculo de
from
las
production reports
contraprestaciones,
for
derechos,
calculating
impuestos,
assignés and contractors' fees and
Tercero,
considerations.
difundir y remitir a las unidades
Third,
administrativas de la
provide to the
Comisión y a las
administrative
autoridades
units
competentes
and competent
la
authorities
información
with
de producción de
hydrocarbon
hidrocarburos que se requiere
production
para el cálculo de
information
las contraprestaciones, derechos e impuestos
required for
correspondientes.
fees and considerations
Hasta aquí estas
estimations,
tres primeras
as well as
fracciones
for
obedecen
calculating
al
the
seguimiento de
corresponding
los
rights and
reportes
taxes.
para el cálculo de
These
las
three
contraprestaciones,
sections,
derechos e impuestos.
we're talking
Y las
about
subsecuentes
follow-up,
estarían
considerations,
relacionadas directamente con
fees,
los actos de
rights, and
comercialización.
taxes.
Fracción cuarta, proporcionar a
The,
la Dirección General
the
de
next
Contratos
sections
detalles y condiciones
consider
técnicas de los
other
contratos de
activities as
comercialización
provide the
de hidrocarburos
necessary
para la
technical
elaboración de
elements to
estos.
the Direction General for
Fracción quinta,
Contracts for the
el tipo
elaboration
de
of
adquirir y
hydrocarbon
suscribir
commercialization
contratos,
contracts.
convenios y demás
Fifth,
instrumentos jurídicos
sign contracts,
necesarios
agreements,
que en materia
and
de
other legal
comercialización de
instruments
hidrocarburos requiera la Comisión.
required for the commercialization of
Coordinar las
hydrocarbons.
actividades relacionadas con la comercialización de
Six,
hidrocarburos
coordinate activities related to the commercialization of hydrocarbons, and carry out the necessary acts to manage the related contracts, agreements, and legal instruments. 7, answer and take care of notices, notifications, reports, and overall procedures derived from the hydrocarbon commercialization contracts. 8, other activities, tasks, and matter entrusted by the governing body, the President Commissioner or its head of unit, as well as those necessary for the exercise of its competence. We think that the first 3 sections were amending all the comments of the commissioners of the last session. Also, in the transitory articles, we're stating that until the creation of the Direction General for Production Commercialization is authorized, its powers will be exerted by the Direction General for Measurement. Also, that this agreement will be registered in the National Hydrocarbon Commission's public registry. This is all, President Commissioner. Thank you very much. General Attorney, please, Commissioners, I ask you, you have any comments? Yes, please, Commissioner Acosta. I only have I want to make an amendment. It's only a type amendment, a form amendment. Instead of elaboration of the hydrocarbon contracts, yes, it's only a matter of wording in the 4th section of the powers of the Direction General for Commercialization. Any other comments, commissioners? No. So this was an issue of the last session. There were some comments from the commissioners, and the proposal is to create a Direction General for Commercialization. So the powers belong to the Direction General for Measurement, and we are assessing the convenience of changing those powers for them to belong to the Direction General for Commercialization once it's created. Please, Executive Secretary, can you read the agreement proposal on this subject? Of course, based on Articles 22, Sections 1, 3rd, and 28 of the Law for Coordinated Energy Regulatory Agencies, and 13, Section 7, Subsection F of the National Hydrocarbon Commission Internal Regulation, the governing body approves in the terms in which they were proposed to the Commissioner, and the amendment proposed by Commissioner Acosta, the amendments to the National Hydrocarbon Commission internal regulation. Also, it agrees on taking the necessary steps to publish the agreement containing such amendments in the official journal of the Federation. Please, Commissioners, I submit the agreement to the consideration of the members of the governing body. Please show your vote by raising your hand. Commissioner President, the voting is registered and taking into account. The agreement is adopted by unanimity.
De ingresos propios excedentes del ejercicio fiscal 2016 al fideicomiso público referido en el artículo 31 de la Ley de los Órganos Reguladores Coordinados en materia energética. En desahogo de este punto del orden del día,
in discharge of this item of the agenda, I give the floor to Mr. Abelardo Garcia, the senior officer of this commission. Thank you very much. Good morning. I bring to your approval this agreement that mentioned the executive secretary, that taking into consideration the Article 31 of this regulating act. We have to take into consideration that if we have remaining surplus, we should add it to a trust fund. In the Section 3, we have provided that the annual budget of the Commission will be taken into consideration for the last fiscal year. Taking into consideration also that these legal precepts should be considered, and our trust fund for next fiscal year for 2017, we have established around 960 million pesos. We are asking for permission to transfer this remaining balance to the trust fund, and I submit it to your approval. Thank you very much, Senior Executive Officer. Fellow Commissioners, do you have any comments? Commissioner Franco, I have some questions. How much do we have allowed? 3 times the annual Commission budget. How much is it? 320 million for this fiscal year 2016, and if we calculate it and 3 times is around the 960 million. We have to transfer, and this is a estimate figure, and we're not considering the specific figure, but we're still calculating around 29.5 million pesos, and that is what we would be taking to the trust fund. Thank you. Commissioner Acosta, I understand that this trust fund can only be around 3 times the annual budget, and the rest should go to the Treasury. Are we under this assumption that we are giving the top of this budget, and then we should take it to the Treasury, and that surplus would be taken to the trust fund, and then the remaining would be taken to the federal treasury. So we're saying that we're self-sufficient, this commission is self-sufficient, and we would be giving some contribution to the federal treasury. That's correct, and that's a great piece of information. Executive Secretary, the agreement would be under Articles 22, Sections 1, 3, 27, Article 31st, Section 1 of the Energy Regulating Bodies, as well as Article 36, Section 2, Subsection I of the Internal Regulations of this Commission. The governing body passes the resolution ordering necessary arrangements to contribute a remaining balance from surplus corresponding to the fiscal year 2016 to the Public Trust Fund under Article 31st, Section 1 of the Energy Regulating Bodies Act. Thank you very much, fellow commissioners. If you agree, please do so by raising your hand. Thank you, commissioners. This agreement is approved unanimously. We have fully discharged the agenda. Thank you very much, fellow commissioners. Thank you to our general attorney, to all of our colleagues. Thank you for your help. I hereby call this 74th session adjourned. Thank you very much.